Randy said, "What is Boston's cruise protocol for his client bodybuilders? Does he add anything other than traditional HRT compounds?" That he means, when your clients go on cruises, do they just use tests or they use another compound at the same time?
That's a good one. So I'll tell you what my clients cruise on. Competitors. This is my competitor cruise.
Hmm.
If somebody that competes, 300 test sip 1 time per week, half mg Arimidex twice a week, 20 mgs Nolvadex every day, 5,000 IU's HCG 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 IU growth hormone upon waking every day. For a non-competitor, the cruise is the same exact thing, except I bring the test from 300 to 200.
By the way, you have people always shoot growth hormone in the morning? If they shoot once?
No, I don't. On their cruise, when they're only doing 2 IU's, yes.
But when you raise the dose, do you split the injections?
Yeah, so I always rotate. I've noticed this helps a lot with my clients. Every 6 weeks the GH dose changes. It'll start off upon waking, then I'll change it to pre-workout, then I'll change it to post-workout, then I'll change it to prior to bed, and I'll always switch it up. But if they are taking like 8 IU's, Leo,
Yeah.
very rare. Actually, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 of my clients go at 8 IU's total. Most of them are like 4 to 6 max. Like usually it's like 3 to 6. But when they're in the 8, I have them split the dose.
Do you think those okay, last question before we get off. Do you think those old bodybuilders from the 90s that now say they used 8 IUs, but they're all asking each other like, what did you use? What did you use? I heard you use this. But then they all answer the same thing, like Dorian said and others said 8.
Palumbo said he's never used more than 6 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm talking about Palumbo and Dorian, exactly. They're because he was asking, and I noticed that, but then I'm like, okay, maybe Dorian used 8, but Palumbo didn't know what Dorian used, and he heard he used 8. So I think you'd use more.
I watched the interview of Dorian. He used a lot more. He admitted to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
would.
he only used it on training days.
Interesting. Yeah, you know, some of these top guys that I've been speaking to recently, I realized they don't use, not all of them use that much, like I've been telling you privately.
Yeah, so I'm going to do an experiment from Anabolic Pharmacist where I'm already talking to him about it because I'm always a cheapo, but he's going to give me a good deal, obviously, because I bring him a lot of customers. But I'm going to try the Genotropin at 8 to 10 IU's for 3 months and compare that to 8 to 10 IU's of my best generic. I'm going to do the Genotropin for 12 weeks, 8 to 10 IU's, and then I'm going to switch over to my good generic for 8 to 12 weeks, and I'm going to see if I see a difference.
I feel like you should do it the reverse because the growth hormone works best longer in the line. So you might be tempted to think that the Chinese one work longer because you haven't been using it.
I'm on 3 generic right now.
But I do like the Genotropin. I gotta tell you, I think it's my favorite growth hormone overall. I used to think Norditropin was my favorite, but it's actually a harder pen to use.
He carries that too, right?
Yeah, he has Norditropin also.
The best GH I've ever used result wise, I'll have to admit, is Sizen. The 24.
Yeah, you've told me this, but it's very expensive.
It makes your skin. Everyone that's used it has the same issue with this. Their skin. My skin looks really good on that, but the Norditropin to me was easy. I used to get. Are they the 45 IU ones?
Yeah, they're too
small. Yeah, but I would just put I wouldn't use the insulin surgery. I just put my insulin syringe and pull it out.
That one you can, because that one I think is it doesn't oxidize quickly when it's exposed to air, but the Genotropin less so. But also, you know, do you realize, Boston, that the dose, if you were a short child at your, like, and you weighed 100 kg, 220 pounds, your dose of growth hormone would be 40 units every night or every other night. So it'd be the whole Genotropin pen. Yeah. So if you think in that regard, they're actually much smaller doses. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, okay, I'll let you go. I'll let you be, brother. Hey,
yeah, definitely. What do you think is going to happen on that GH experiment?
I think you're gonna love the Genotropin. I think you're gonna realize that you hold less water. But the only thing I didn't want to say, but I'm just concerned because you know it does cause hyperfiltration of the kidney.
Dude, my kidneys aren't getting better. I'm doing everything I can, but I tell you what, I should show you all my natural supplements. I tried, man. I really did, man. I'm doing everything to this day to help, you know. And Leo, I have no symptoms at all. So,
thank God, at least.
I mean, isn't that weird? The doctor's never seen a person with a GFR of 9 that's like perfectly fine.
You know, but you also never felt trenbolone rage. you're just like a very happy-go-lucky, resilient person naturally. God blessed you with that. I'd probably be feeling like crap. I probably wouldn't be able to move, but you don't even notice it. Like you're not even totally aware that it's happening.
Yeah, no, like if I didn't get blood work, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, but that's scary, huh? That reminds the audience everyone needs to do blood work,
Well, the only thing that was off was the ammonia taste.
But there could have been something way worse. Remember, two of the subscribers of the channel have liver cancer, which they just found out randomly. One of them found out, you know how? He was walking down the street and he bumped into like a post, and the post hit his liver and it hurt and he didn't know what happened. So he went to the hospital and they scanned his liver and he found out he had an adenoma, a tumor, and it burst.
Oh my!
Like he had a huge tumor and it burst from just bumping into something. He had no idea.
Now, what happens with liver cancer? You get a transplant?
It has a very, very low survival rate. However, I'm very happy to say that one of the guys is recovering quite well. He had a lot of different treatments. There's a few treatments. They use drugs, chemical drugs to try to kill but basically it usually spreads really quickly to your kidneys, to other parts of your body. My grandmother died of liver cancer, actually.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah, she never even drank.
It's better to have failed kidneys than liver cancer?
1,000 times.
Wow.
1,000 times. Yeah, and those guys got it from steroids, and they weren't like mega dosing or anything.
Well, I'll let you know next week when I get my results back from my heart test.
Oh, I'm very excited to hear about that. Yeah. I bet you it'll be perfect. I bet you your heart will be perfect. We have nothing to worry about except kidneys, which will be great.